All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, look, the franchise tag window officially opens on Tuesday. This is huge. It's always so interesting to see which direction teams go in when it comes to this time of year. How many potential franchise tag candidates do they have on their roster? And really, I mean, the franchise tag from top to bottom is just such a powerful tool for franchises out there. Maybe they don't have enough cap space to sign a guy long term. Maybe they like a guy on the roster, but they don't love him and they want that 1 year prove it style of deal in place. We've seen teams take advantage of it though. Think back Kirk Cousins with Washington when it was like franchise tag, or after the rookie deal, it's franchise tag, and then there were talks about doing it for 3 years in a row. Obviously that's not going to fly. So there is somewhat of an abuse of power when it comes to the franchise tag, but it's a powerful tool nonetheless that can benefit franchises on a year-to-year basis. All right, so when you're looking at the Jets roster, we have a lot of pending free agents right now. Hewitt, a lot of different guys who I like, but I feel like when you're talking about the franchise tag, there's one player specifically that comes to mind that the Jets could use it on. It's free safety / strong safety now, Marcus Maye. I think the majority of Jets Nation wants Marcus Maye to return, right? Productive player, good player, homegrown guy, right? Drafted in the second round. How awesome is that? The Jets have continuously missed on second round picks. We finally landed on one in Marcus Maye. He's battled with some injuries, of course, but he's coming off the best season of his career. He's shown that versatility, free safety, strong safety. He can do both. He's actually turning into like a veteran leader now on the defensive side of the football. And it sounds nuts to say that because I remember when he was drafted back in 2017 and he's already kind of the old man in the secondary unit. It's crazy. So we've established, and by the way, I'm not speaking for everybody here. I know there might be some people that want to move off of Marcus Maye because they have concerns, and we'll get into that. But the majority of Jets Nation wants Maye to return to the green and white. So now it begs the question, what do we do to get this guy back in the building? Do we sign him to a contract or should we franchise tag? And right now, I have to be honest with you, I know it's not the popular thing. I'm leaning more towards the franchise tag. I love Marcus Maye. I want him to be a Jet for life. That's the end goal. I want Marcus in green and white for the long haul, okay? But when I'm looking at this offseason specifically and really the timing of it all, I do run into a couple of hurdles, and we're going to get into it. Hurdle number one, or concern number one, we have a brand new coaching staff coming in the building. Robert Saleh, 5-year contract. The expectation is that he will be here for 5 years, and he's going to be implementing a brand new style of defense, something that the Jets have not ran or had in years. All right, not under Rex Ryan, not under Todd Bowles, not under Adam Gase. It's been a long time. A base 4-3 front, cover 3, cover 4 in the back end, and the corners press from time to time. All right, so this is a brand new defense that's going to be installed. How does Marcus Maye fit in this defense? Will he be as productive? Now, he could be better, which could be a good problem to have moving forward, but he also could be worse. But really the question is will Marcus Maye be the same player that he's been in years past? We don't know. Personally, I think Marcus Maye is a really good fit as that free range, ball hawking free safety. I think he does fit the system really well, but only time will tell. All right, so we have that concern. Does he fit the defense? Can he produce in the defense? We don't want to sign a guy to a 4-5-year contract and then, show up to training camp and be like, great, we don't really know what to do with Marcus Maye. He doesn't really have a fit in the defense. Obviously, that would be discussed before signing him to a long-term deal, but are there better options out there for cheaper? We could attack the draft. It opens up a bunch of different avenues. Concern number two, we're looking at recent paydays from the safety position, right? Landon Collins, it was like a 6-year, $90 million deal. Eddie Jackson's another one. I think it was 4 years, 58. These are big contracts. Jamal Adams, he's wanting $20 million a season. That was one of the perks of trading Jamal. We don't have to pay him $18, $19, $20 million or anything like that. We're getting rid of that headache. We don't have that financial burden to worry about at the safety position. Trying to think of other guys. Justin Simmons, he's on like the come up. He's like due up next. If he's, if he's tagged this season, then of course it'll be the following season. Justin Simmons eventually will get a huge contract. All right. So the safety position, I feel like this is just one of those positions where the contracts just continue to rise, just like quarterbacks. So we're looking at the contract right now, multi-year contract, big money at the safety position, a lot of holes on this roster that we're going to have to fill. Do we want to do that? We have a brand new coaching staff coming in the building. We haven't seen Maye produce or play in this defense. Kind of sketchy a little bit. And then, of course, we have to factor in the injuries. Now, it hasn't been an issue last 2 seasons. I'm pumped up about that. He's shown the ability to stay on the field. That's great. But in 2017, he missed 10 games. He also battled with injuries in college. So we're looking at those 3 factors. Because, I mean, the injuries, it's unfortunate, but you just have to bring that up. Whenever you're talking about bringing in a player long-term, you have to do your due diligence on injury history. So those are the 2 choices. Either franchise tag for $11.2 million for 1 year or sign him to a long-term deal. That's the question that the Jets organization is going to, Joe Douglas specifically, is going to have to figure out and come to a conclusion. For me, I would tag Marcus Maye for this offseason. $11.2 million. That's a nice chunk of change for Marcus Maye. It's not like we're, franchise. It's not like he's going to be completely undervalued at $11 million. But I feel like that's a pretty reasonable number for the safety position. So we're franchise tagging Marcus Maye. We can now see how he can produce in this defense, how he fits, how he plays within this defense, if he does it all. Again, he could be better, which could in turn result the Jets in having to fork out or, shell out more cash in the end. When your starting safety's playing really good football, and then in his first season with a brand new coaching staff, brand new defensive scheme, he's getting better. Yeah, that's a pretty good problem to have. At that point, I would not mind shelling out a huge defensive contract. But can't live in the world of hypotheticals right now. We can only control what we can control. That's signing him to a long-term deal or franchise tagging Marcus Maye. I don't see a situation where the Jets would bring Marcus or sign Marcus Maye to a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal. I think it's either tagging or long-term contract. We'll see what happens. Again, I personally would tag him because of the system fit, because we haven't seen him in the system, because of how safeties are getting paid nowadays. And the injuries, you can't just sweep it under the rug. You have to take a note of it. You have to look at it. So for me, there's too many hurdles this offseason. One more season, let's get some closure in the new defense, and then boom, if he produces, long-term deal, hand it out maybe midway through the season or immediately at the end. We'll see what happens. But I will mention this as well. We also have to figure out what's happening at strong safety. We have Ashton Davis on the roster, but Bradley McDougald, starting strong safety from last year, free agent. Okay, so what are we going to do at that position? I actually made a video on a couple of these safeties that the Jets should be targeting, and I'll link that video down in the description box or up here or something like that. And yeah, I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you sign Marcus Maye to a long-term contract, or would you franchise tag Marcus Maye? So cannot wait to see what you guys have to say. Both arguments are definitely correct, but I feel like for me personally, I'm leaning more towards the tag. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in and sticking with this channel. And as always, go Jets.